Is the biggest betrayal in hip-hop unfolding right before our eyes? The internet is on fire after tennis icon Serena Williams joined Kendrick Lamar for an unforgettable Super Bowl halftime show. While Kendrick performed a track widely rumored to be a diss aimed at Drake, is Serena picking sides in one of rap's most heated rivalries? Or is there a bigger story hidden beneath the headlines? There's one rapper you don't want to cross: Kendrick Lamar. Countless artists have tried to go toe-to-toe with him, and almost all have come away with bruised egos.
Are you my friend? Are we locked in?
But if anyone can stand up to a challenge, it's Drake, hip-hop's reigning hitmaker with chart records that rival only the biggest in pop music. Their rivalry, already simmering for years, has just exploded in front of millions, and it's more personal than ever. Why Serena Williams? How did she become the unexpected catalyst in this high-stakes rap feud? Let's rewind to understand just how this all got started. Kendrick Lamar has never been shy about calling out artists he deems inauthentic. When he dropped Not Like Us, fans and critics immediately read it as a direct challenge to Drake. The timing was too perfect to be a coincidence. Kendrick released it right on the heels of Drake's own music announcements, virtually guaranteeing a face-off. Every verse seemed to point an accusatory finger, taking shots at commercialized rap, chart-chasing hits, and shallow lyricism. In a genre where direct feuds can define careers, Not Like Us landed like a bomb. But let's be clear, Kendrick didn't just put out the track and hope for Twitter buzz. He performed it on major stages, award shows, talk shows, and festival headliners, effectively telling the world, yes, I want you to hear this, and yes, it's personal. This was no subtle jab. It was a rallying cry for those who believe in the primacy of lyrical content over radio-friendly hooks. And for those who suspected the track was aimed squarely at Drake, well, the gloves were off. If that wasn't already enough to make Drake uneasy, Kendrick took home 5 Grammys for Not Like Us, an unprecedented sweep for a track widely rumored to be an anti-Drake anthem. It dominated the evening, winning categories like Best Rap Performance and even crossing over into bigger, more mainstream fields. Critics praised Kendrick's layered storytelling, incisive social commentary, and biting personal attacks, all rolled into a track that refused to compromise authenticity for palatability. For Drake, watching a suspected diss track rake in awards he's felt denied was a bitter pill to swallow. He has publicly spoken about feeling overlooked or pigeonholed by the Grammys, so to see Kendrick's track potentially taking potshots at him earn these accolades was the ultimate trigger. This was no ordinary night in rap. It was a statement. Kendrick Lamar's artistry was unstoppable, and if you got in his way, whether you were Drake or anyone else, you better buckle up.
I'm on tough. I'ma do my stuff. Why you trolling like a, ain't you tired? Trying to strike a chord and it's probably A minor.
Meanwhile, Drake was far from silent. Though he's often described as an emotional artist, someone who airs grievances in his music, this time he held back from overtly naming Kendrick, at least in official interviews. Instead, he dropped hints on social media, liked cryptic tweets, and occasionally used stage banter to fire shots at lyrical purists he believed were out to degrade his pop-friendly approach. He was riding high with chart-topping releases, but behind the scenes, the tension was building. Drake was either preparing to launch a counteroffensive or hoping the feud would just fizzle. And then came the bombshell. The showdown reached new heights when Kendrick Lamar planned to use the biggest sporting event of the year, the Super Bowl, to send a message not just to Drake, but to the entire world. It's no secret that performing at the Super Bowl halftime show is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. The broadcast reaches millions across the globe, and anything that happens on that stage instantly becomes water cooler talk. So when rumors floated that Kendrick was planning an unprecedented stunt, fans braced themselves for something major. They got it, and then some. As Kendrick began performing, the crowd was already electrified. Then suddenly, Serena Williams stepped into the spotlight. At first, people were baffled. Why would a tennis legend appear during Kendrick's set? But as soon as she broke into the trademark crip walk she's done at past events, it all clicked. This wasn't just Serena having fun, it was a message, especially with the context of Not Like Us rumbling in the background. This move instantly reignited all the rumors of her history with Drake. While they've never confirmed the specifics, the two have been romantically linked in the past, and Drake has openly admired her on multiple occasions. Did this cameo mean she was definitively Team Kendrick? Was she calling out Drake on the world's biggest stage? The internet collectively lost its mind. To understand why this cameo sent shockwaves through fans, you have to recall that Drake was famously spotted courtside at Serena's matches, passionately rooting for her victories. Some reports even claim the two were an item. Whether or not that's true, one thing is certain: he publicly expressed massive respect for her, calling her an inspiration and dedicating lyrics to her achievements. So to see Serena dancing dancing alongside Kendrick while he performed a track widely interpreted as a Drake diss, struck many as a personal betrayal, or at the very least, an unmistakable sign that Serena was ready to distance herself from any perceived loyalty to the Canadian rapper. Cue the social media firestorm. In the hours following the halftime show, platforms like Twitter and Instagram erupted. Memes showing Drake weeping courtside while Serena danced with Kendrick were everywhere. Fans divided into Team Drake and Team Kendrick, trading barbs and collecting every possible piece of evidence to prove their side. Some argued Serena was simply putting on a show and had no ill intent. Others believed this was the ultimate "I'm done with Drake" moment. The internet thrives on this sort of gossip. One viral tweet read, "Serena used to be Drake's muse, and now she's dancing to a diss track against him? That's cold." Another joked that Drake would write an entire album titled Crip Walk Heartbreak in response. Humor aside, the level of fan engagement showed just how invested people were in this unfolding drama. After all, it isn't every day a tennis legend becomes the centerpiece of a rap feud, especially during the Super Bowl. So, how did Drake handle it? Word spread quickly that, upon learning of the stunt, Drake was furious. Reports suggested he was fuming backstage at a show in Melbourne, pacing and cursing about the performance. Then, mid-concert, he allegedly changed some lyrics to throw direct shade, saying things like, "Beef is live. Spoiler alert, I never D," which fans took as a coded way of declaring he wasn't about to let this feud die. If you think about it, this is classic Drake, turning raw emotion into a live performance spectacle. Yet it's also a departure from his usual careful approach. Typically, he's methodical in addressing rivalries, sometimes waiting weeks or months before dropping a cryptic line in a track. This time, he couldn't hide his frustration, unleashing a spontaneous meltdown that made headlines. It proved just how deep these wounds might go. With one of the most talked about Super Bowl halftime shows in recent history behind us, the question on everyone's mind is, what happens next in this escalating feud? Drake's discography is filled with songs that channel personal conflicts into massive hits. Just recall Marvin's Room, which laid bare his heartbreak for the world to dissect, or his back and forth with Meek Mill, which spawned chart-topping diss tracks. If Drake feels truly betrayed by Serena, we might see him pour that hurt and anger into new music. Rumors are already swirling that he's locked himself in the studio. Would Drake name Serena explicitly? Possibly not. He often prefers subtle references that fans decode line by line. But if we know anything about Drake, it's that no personal slight goes unnoticed. Expect a future single, EP, or even album that addresses this fiasco. Whether through heartbreaking lines about loyalty or scathing bars aimed at Kendrick, Serena, for her part, remains tight-lipped. She's posted general hype about the Super Bowl, thanked Kendrick for the opportunity, and moved on with her usual business endeavors. However, the media frenzy hasn't died down, and she may find it necessary to address the rumors directly, especially if fans or reporters keep pressing her. Could we see a heartfelt Instagram post where she explains that she was just dancing, with no intent to slam Drake? Maybe an in-depth interview where she acknowledges their past and sets the record straight? Until she speaks, speculation will continue. And in the gossip world, silence often fuels more theories than it quells. Kendrick Lamar rarely does anything without a plan. From the way he announces tours to how he crafts album rollouts, he is a master of long-form storytelling. Now that the Super Bowl cameo has everybody talking, Kendrick might double down, perhaps dropping a surprise track referencing both Drake and Serena, or producing a short film that cements his stance in the rivalry. Or he might do the opposite, letting the moment speak for itself. Sometimes, silence is the best strategy. The buzz around his halftime show might feed into the promotion of future projects. Kendrick could ride the wave of controversy, positioning himself as the fearless, artistic foil to Drake's mainstream pop dominance. In the music industry, feuds can ripple outward, affecting alliances and collaborations. If the Drake-Kendrick war heats up, some producers, vocalists, or fellow rappers might feel pressured to pick a side or avoid the conflict altogether. The same goes for Serena's brand endorsements. If the public perception is that she's thrown her lot in with Kendrick, sponsors could either applaud her boldness or fear alienating Drake's fan base. It might sound dramatic, but that's the reality of celebrity culture. One public performance can trigger real-world consequences. Endorsements can be lost or gained, and entire tours can shift based on who wants to work with whom. We're already hearing whispers about behind-the-scenes changes in upcoming festival lineups, with organizers wary of scheduling Drake and Kendrick too closely together. This leads us to the key question. question, was Serena's Super Bowl cameo really a betrayal or just show business? Let's break it down. On one side, you have those who argue it was undeniably personal. Drake championed Serena for years, showing up at her matches, praising her accomplishments, and even weaving her name into his music. Seeing her dance to a track that allegedly calls him out, that's a gut punch. On the other side, many people see the halftime show as a purely theatrical event. Artists often bring out surprise guests to dazzle the crowd, and maybe Serena just wanted to have fun performing a dance she's famous for. If she didn't specifically aim to shame Drake, then we're the ones assigning that motive. Complicating matters is the rumored romance between Drake and Serena. Did they date seriously, or was it a casual fling? Did it end poorly, leaving room for resentment? It's easy to paint this cameo as payback, but it could just as easily be an innocent nod to Serena's brand of showmanship. After all, she's never shied away from the spotlight. Yet, the cultural impact is undeniable. Here we have three towering icons, Serena, Drake, and Kendrick, intersecting in a narrative that blurs personal grievances with professional moves. It's the stuff pop culture thrives on: friendship, conflict, speculation, and public scrutiny. When it's all broadcast during the Super Bowl, the stakes are astronomical. Remember these moments? Drake all smiles in Serena's VIP box, famously cheering her on. The tabloids once speculated they might be the next power couple. Fast forward, and the image of Serena dancing on stage with Drake's rival forms a striking contrast. It's a testament to how quickly alliances can shift in the public eye. In many ways, this entire feud epitomizes the interconnectedness of music, sports, and celebrity culture. A tennis star, a rap superstar, and a pop rap icon come together in a storyline that feels almost scripted, but it's unfolding in real time, with real consequences. Social media and the press pick up every subtle hint, every tweet or Instagram post, magnifying it for millions to see. The lines between personal and performative blur here. Is it all for entertainment value, or are there real, deep-seated feelings fueling these public moves? No matter the truth, fans are enthralled, continuing to dissect every rumor, every lyric, every cryptic post. So what do you think? Did Serena Williams truly betray Drake by stepping onto Kendrick's stage for Not Like Us? Or is this just a whirlwind of social media speculation? Will Drake respond with a scathing new track, or will Kendrick raise the stakes even higher? And will Serena ever speak openly about what really happened behind the scenes? One thing's for sure, this story is far from over. The next few months will be crucial. If Drake does drop a track, expect the internet to tear it apart line by line, searching for references to both Kendrick and Serena. If Serena finally breaks her silence, you can bet every entertainment outlet will be watching. And if Kendrick has more surprises up his sleeve, fans will eagerly gobble it up, and so will the headlines. In the meantime, make sure to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you don't miss our next deep dive into the biggest showdowns shaking the music industry. When superstars collide, especially across rap, sports, and social media, the results are explosive, unpredictable, and absolutely riveting. Thank you for watching. Drop your theories in the comments below.